Hi again, family. This is day 99 of our Reading Through the Bible Together in a Year series. Today we're in the book of 1 Kings, or Melachim, and we're covering chapters 12, starting in verse 16, because we started chapter 12 yesterday, going through chapter 14. Now, what's happening in the story is that Rehoboam, or Rehoboam, as you know it, is Solomon's son, and he is now in charge of Israel after Solomon has died. But Jeroboam has been told that been told by God that he's going to be a ruler of Israel, and so there's this scuffle where Rehoboam basically can't decide whether or not he wants to be harder on the people or lighter on the people than his father Solomon, and he takes the counsel of the young guys that he grew up with, who were probably his young rich friends who they just played and had a good time and never had to work a day in their life, and they said, make the burden of the people harder, put them in their place. And Jeroboam takes off with the northern 10 tribes of Israel and says, we're not going to follow you. And so we're going to see how that story plays out today. When all Israel saw that the king didn't listen to them, the people answered the king, saying, what portion have we in David? We don't have an inheritance in the son of Yishai. To your tents, Israel. Now see to your own house, David. So Israel departed to their tents. But as for the children of Israel who lived in the cities of Yehuda, Rehoboam reigned over them. Then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the men subject to forced labor, and all Israel stoned him to death with stones. King Rehoboam hurried to get himself up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. So Israel rebelled against David's house to this day. When all Israel heard that Jeroboam had returned, they sent and called him to the congregation, and made him king over all Israel. There was no one who followed David's house except for the tribe of Yehuda only. When Rehoboam had come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Yehuda and the tribe of Benjamin, 180,000 chosen men who were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom against Rehoboam the son of Shalomo. But the word of God came to Shemaiah the man of God, saying, speak to Rehoboam the son of Shalomo, king of Yehuda, and to all the house of Yehuda and Benjamin, and to the rest of the people, saying, Yahweh says, you shall not go up or fight against your brothers, the children of Israel. Everyone return to his house, for this thing is from me. So they listened to Yahweh's word, and returned and went their way, according to Yahweh's word. Then Jeroboam built Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and lived in it, and he went out from there and built Penuel. Jeroboam said in his heart, now the kingdom will return to David's house. If this people goes up to offer sacrifices in Yahweh's house at Jerusalem, then the heart of this people will turn again to their Lord, even to Rehoboam, king of Yehuda, and they will kill me and return to Rehoboam, king of Yehuda. So the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold, and he said to them, it is too much for you to go to Jerusalem. Look and behold your gods, Israel, which brought you up out of the land of Egypt. He set the one in Bethel, and the other he put in Dan. This thing became a sin, for the people went even as far as Dan to worship before the one there. He made houses of high places, and made priests from among all the people who were not of the sons of Levi. Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like the feast that is in Yehuda, and he went up to the altar. He did so in Bethel, sacrificing to the calves that he had made, and he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places that he had made. He went up to the altar which he had made in Bethel on the 15th day in the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own heart. And he ordained a feast for the children of Israel, and went up to the altar to burn incense. Behold, a man of God came out of Yehuda by Yahweh's word to Bethel, and Jeroboam was standing by the altar to burn incense. He cried against the altar by Yahweh's word, and said, Altar, altar, Yahweh says, behold, a son will be born to David's house, Yoshiahu by name. On you he will sacrifice the priests of the high places who burn incense on you, and they will burn men's bones on you. He gave a sign the same day, saying, this is the sign which Yahweh has spoken. Behold, the altar will be split apart, and the ashes that are on it will be poured out. When the king heard the saying of the man of God, which he cried against the altar in Bethel, Jeroboam put out his hand from the altar, saying, seize him. His hand, which he put out against him, dried up, so that he could not draw it back again to himself. The altar was also split apart, and the ashes poured out from the altar, according to the sign which the man of God had given by Yahweh's word. The king answered the man of God, "Now intercede for the favor of Yahweh your God, and pray for me, that my hand may be restored to me again." The man of God interceded with Yahweh, and the king's hand was restored to him again, and became as it was before. The king said to the man of God, "Come home with me and refresh yourself, and I will give you a reward." The man of God said to the king, "Even if you gave me half of your house, I would not go in with you. Neither would I eat bread nor drink water in this place, for so was it commanded me by Yahweh's word, saying, You shall eat no bread, drink no water, and don't return by the way that you came." So he went another way and didn't return by the way that he came to Bethel. Now an old prophet lived in Bethel, and one of his sons came and told him all the works that the man of God had done that day in Bethel. They also told their father the words which he had spoken to the king. Their father said to them, "Which way did he go?" Now his sons had seen which way the man of God went, who came from Yehudah. He said to his sons, "Saddle the donkey for me." So they saddled the donkey for him, and he rode on it. He went after the man of God, and found him sitting under an oak. He said to him, "Are you the man of God who came from Yehudah?" He said, "I am." Then he said to him, "Come home with me and eat bread." He said, "I may not return with you, nor go in with you. I will not eat bread or drink water with you in this place. For it was said to me by Yahweh's word, You shall eat no bread or drink water there, and don't turn again to go by the way that you came." He said to him, "I also am a prophet as you are, and an angel spoke to me by Yahweh's word, saying, Bring him back with you into your house, that he may eat bread and drink water." He lied to him. So he went back with him, ate bread in his house, and drank water. As they sat at the table, Yahweh's word came to the prophet who brought him back, and he cried out to the man of God who came from Yehudah, saying, "Yahweh says, because you have been disobedient to Yahweh's word, and have not kept the commandment which Yahweh your God commanded you, but came back and have eaten bread and drank water in the place of which he said to you, Eat no bread and drink no water, your body will not come to the tomb of your fathers." After he had eaten bread and after he drank, he saddled the donkey for the prophet whom he had brought back. When he had gone, a lion met him by the way and killed him. His body was thrown on the path, and the donkey stood by it. The lion also stood by the body. Behold, the men passed by and saw the body thrown on the path, and the lion standing by the body, and they came and told it in the city where the old prophet lived. When the prophet who brought him back from the way heard of it, he said, "It is the man of God who was disobedient to Yahweh's word. Therefore Yahweh has delivered him to the lion, which has mauled him and slain him, according to Yahweh's word which he spoke to him." He said to his son, saying, "Saddle the donkey for me." And they saddled it. He went and found the body thrown on the path, and the donkey and the lion standing by the body. The lion had not eaten the body, nor mauled the donkey. The prophet took up the body of the man of God, and laid it on the donkey, and brought it back. He came to the city of the old prophet to mourn, and to bury him. He laid his body in his own grave, and they mourned over him, saying, "Alas, my brother!" After he had buried him, he spoke to his son, saying, "When I am dead, bury me in the tomb in which the man of God is buried. Lay my bones beside his bones, for the saying which he cried by Yahweh's word against the altar in Bethel, and against all the houses of the high places which are in the cities of Samaria, will surely happen." After this thing, Yerovam didn't turn from his evil way, but again made priests of the high places from among all the people. Whoever wanted to, he consecrated him, that there might be priests of the high places. This thing became sin to the house of Yerovam, even to cut it off and to destroy it from off the surface of the earth. At that time, Aviah, the son of Yerovam, became sick. Yerovam said to his wife, "Please get up and disguise yourself, so that you won't be recognized as Yerovam's wife. Go to Shiloh. Behold, Ahiah the prophet is there, who said that I would be king over this people. Take with you 10 loaves of bread, some cakes, and a jar of honey, and go to him. He will tell you what will become of the child." Yerovam's wife did so, and arose and went to Shiloh, and came to Ahiah's house. Now Ahiah could not see, for his eyes were set by reason of his age. Yahweh said to Ahiah, "Behold, Yerovam's wife is coming to inquire of you concerning her son, for he is sick. Tell her such and such, for it will be, when she comes in, that she will pretend to be another woman." So when Ahiah heard the sound of her feet as she came in at the door, he said, "Come in, Yerovam's wife. Why do you pretend to be another? For I am sent to you with heavy news. Go tell Yerovam, Yahweh the God of Israel says, because I exalted you from among the people, and made you prince over my people Israel, and tore the kingdom away from David's house, and gave it to you, and yet you have not been as my servant David, who kept my commandments, and who followed me with all his heart, to do that only which was right in my eyes. but have done evil above all who were before you, and have gone and made for yourself other gods, molten images, to provoke me to anger, and have cast me behind your back. Therefore, behold, I will bring evil on the house of Yerovam, and will cut off from Yerovam everyone who urinates on a wall, he who is shut up and he who is left at large in Yisrael, and will utterly sweep away the house of Yerovam as a man sweeps away dung until it is all gone. The dogs will eat he who belongs to Yerovam who dies in the city, and the birds of the sky will eat he who dies in the field, for Yahweh has spoken it. Arise therefore and go to your house. When your feet enter the city, the child will die. All Yisrael will mourn for him and bury him, for he only of Yerovam will come to the grave, because in him there is found some good thing toward Yahweh, the God of Yisrael, in the house of Yerovam. Moreover, Yahweh will raise up a king for himself over Yisrael, who will cut off the house of Yerovam. This is the day. What? Even now. For Yahweh will strike Yisrael as a reed is shaken in the water, and he will root up Yisrael out of this good land which he gave to their fathers, and will scatter them beyond the river, because they have made their Asherah poles, provoking Yahweh to anger. He will give Yisrael up because of the sins of Yerovam, which he has sinned, and with which he has made Yisrael to sin. Yerovam's wife arose and departed, and came to Tirzah. As soon as she came to the threshold of the house, the child died. All Yisrael buried him and mourned for him, according to Yahweh's word, which he spoke by his servant Achiah the prophet. The rest of the acts of Yerovam, how he fought and how he reigned, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. The days which Yerovam reigned were 22 years. Then he slept with his fathers, and Nadav, his son, reigned in his place. Rehoboam, the son of Shalomo, reigned in Yehudah. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which Yahweh had chosen out of all of the tribes of Israel, to put his name there. His mother's name was Naamah, the Ammonitess. Yehudah did that which was evil in Yahweh's sight, and they provoked him to jealousy with their sins which they committed, above all that their fathers had done. For they also built for themselves high places, sacred pillars, and Asherah poles on every high hill and under every green tree. There were also Sodomites in the land. They did according to all the abominations of the nations which Yahweh drove out before the children of Israel. In the 5th year of King Rehoboam, Shishak, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem, and he took away the treasures of Yahweh's house and the treasures of the king's house. He even took away all of it, including all the gold shields which Shlomo had made. King Rehoboam made shields of the bronze in their place, and committed them to the hands of the captains of the guard, who kept the door of the king's house. It was so that as often as the king went into Yahweh's house, the guard bore them and brought them back into the guard room. Now the rest of the acts of Rehoboam and all that he did, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Yehudah? There was war between Rehoboam and Yerovam continually. Rehoboam slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in David's city. His mother's name was Naamah the Ammonitess. Aviyam his son reigned in his place. Yeah, so both Rehoboam and Jeroboam are no longer on the throne. They both died. I think it's interesting that we have this line of all of the things that they've done, are they not written in the Chronicles of the Kings? Which, Chronicles of the Kings, right? 1st and 2nd Chronicle. Can you see that? 1st and 2nd Chronicles of the Kings. I wonder if that is exactly what it's referring to. That would be really cool if it is, because that helps with dating and knowing when books were written, or when books were compiled, or what was around when things were written, or it serves that kind of purpose. That's very interesting to me. But as far as the narrative goes, I mean, Jeroboam and Rehoboam were bad kings, and they were evil people, and the kingdom was torn away from them, and they're going to be succeeded, and we see how that's playing out already. I think from here on out, we're just going to have king after king after king with short stories and how they were evil and things got torn away from them. And some of them were good and most of them are bad, but we're kind of getting into that now. But I really want to turn... Chapter 13, the whole man of God from Judah and the old man of God and lying to each other and like all of that story, I have no idea what to do with that. I'm sure that has some sort of image significance that I cannot, for the life of me, come up with. I cannot think of it. I'm going to have to do some study and some meditation on that myself. I'm going to have to check out some commentaries, see what other people are thinking, because, man, it just seems out of nowhere. I mean, it's, it is significant to the story, right? Because the prophet or the man of God comes to Jeroboam and says, God's going to tear this kingdom away from you. Here's the sign. Altar splits in two, and then it happens. The altar splits in two. So it's like this. Here's a foretelling from God, and here's a sign so that you know that it's true. And so that's real. But all the stuff about the man of God not being able to eat or drink or go the way he comes, and then the old one lies to him, and then the lion and the donkey the lion not eating the donkey and just standing there, and like all of that, I have no idea what to do with. And so that's very interesting. I very much so challenge you to go and look that up. That is 1 Kings chapter 13. That was a very interesting read. But before we go, I want to point your attention to the end of chapter 12, where what Jeroboam's huge mistake, because he's been anointed king over the northern 10 tribes. And the first thing that he does is he's like, man, if my people travel to Jerusalem to do their sacrifices at the temple like they're supposed to, their heart is going to be turned back towards Rehoboam. I'm going to lose my kingdom. So what does he do? He builds two places, both with a golden calf. Golden calf, you remember that, don't you? And it's like word for word verbatim. And what does he say? He says, chapter 12, verse 28, after seeking advice, the king made two golden calves. He said to the people, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Here are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt. That is verbatim out of the Exodus story, when Aaron makes the golden calf, and they look at it and say, these are your gods. These are your Elohim, Israel, that brought you out of Egypt. Well, it's just like, that's the moment. It's brought right back into play. Isn't that crazy? I just wonder the significance of the golden calf story, the way that it's depicted and all of the details in there. And this story and the writers, were the details of the First Kings account with Jeroboam did they come out of the Exodus account and the golden calf story in Exodus? Or did the details in the golden calf story in Exodus at Mount Sinai, did those details come out of a memory of what Jeroboam did? Like which one is supposed to be referencing what? I love that kind of question. It's so interesting to me. But I hope I've given you something interesting to think about. I'm over here rambling away because I just love all this content. But I hope you go on and you have, as always, a wonderful day.